Hey you guys, I wanted to make a quick video, hopefully a quick one, about something very particular that's on my mind this morning. And I really go through phases with video making here on YouTube, so I want to encourage you to check out my Patreon, and I'll put the details below if you want something more steady, because that's going to be pretty much guaranteed. And here it's sporadic. I go through phases where I'm making a lot of them, and then I'll have times where I don't do any. So I hope you are enjoying these. I hope you are enjoying this busy time. I did a whole bunch of Venus retrograde videos, and today I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about the burn unit. And this was almost going to be a blog post, and then I thought, let me just make a little recording here. And what I mean by the burn unit is Uranus going back to Aries, that there is a fire in your life you thought had gone out, but the fire is back. And the question is what that is for you and what it means. Uranus entered Taurus, I think it was in May. This is a brand new cycle. I mean, it's been years and years and years since we've had this situation. But planets go through these months of retrograde periods, the outer planets, the slow-moving planets, the generational planets. They go retrograde for months. So here we have Uranus, entering this new sign back in May. And then when did it go retrograde? I'm looking in my book here. And it didn't get very far. It got to 2. It got to 2 degrees. It went retrograde in August. So all the rest of this year, we're dealing with retrograde Uranus. It's not going to go direct until 2019. Now, Uranus represents, or, this phrase that we always associate with Uranus is expect the unexpected. Surprise, shock, awakening, enlightenment, genius, electricity. These are some common Uranus keywords. Brilliance, thinking outside the box. Surprise, shock. I said those already, but they're worth repeating. I mean, if you're under a Uranus transit, there's going to be surprising stuff. It's going to come out of the blue. It's not going to be the same old, same old. And if you have a strong Uranus in your own birth chart, that pretty much describes you. You're going to be surprising. You're going to be shocking. You're going to shock people. You may shock yourself. You're going to think outside the box. There's going to be, a fair amount of stubbornness from you, but also change. Uranus, along with the other outer planets, slow-moving planets, bring these intense changes. And we usually have no choice, and we just have to go along for the ride. Now, Isabel Hickey, who I love, who I quote often, but I think she wrote this before Pluto was discovered. Her book, A Cosmic Science, I think, in later editions, added the Pluto stuff, I think. She said that Uranus was the only planetary energy that we could not, what did she say, that we could not control, that we just were totally, there was nothing we could do about it. And even the first astrologer I ever went to, decades ago in my 20s, she was talking to me about a Uranus transit, and she said, every 7 years, Uranus changes signs, and Uranus says, you're coming with me. That's it. There's no choice. So, Uranus went into this new sign, this brand new cycle in May. And then it goes retrograde. And it's going to go back to late Aries. That's the burn unit. That's the burn unit. It's going from earth back to fire. So there is a fire in your life. And you thought you put it out. You thought it was done burning. You thought it was perhaps time to rebuild because there was nothing left. Or you thought, I saved everything I could save. Or you thought, well, that story's done. You know, Uranus changed signs. I don't have to worry about that fire anymore. But this is like it spontaneously is going to erupt again, this fire in your life. Now, this, as I often say, this doesn't have to be bad. This could be a good fire because fire is used to keep you warm and fire is used to purify or sterilize, and fire is used to... Aw, my kitty just made a little squeak. Fire is used to cook. Fire destroys, transforms, assists us in our rituals. Fire hurts and fire heals. Fire is hot. You know, there's this joke that I heard a very long time ago. I can't remember which comedian this is, and I don't even remember when I heard it, probably decades ago. You know James Taylor, that singer-songwriter who was real famous in the 70s? He has this song called Fire and Rain. And there's a line in it that goes, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. And I remember this comedian saying, wow, James has been around. He's seen fire and rain. Anyway, I'm I'm thinking about that. So we have this fire transit. Here we thought Taurus was going to have a stabilizing influence on wild and crazy Uranus. That's one way to look at it. And also Uranus was going to make our Taurus stuff a little crazy. Love and money. I mean, think about that combination, Uranus and Taurus. Uranus is surprise, and Taurus is I want everything stable. I need to keep things stable. So stable that I become stuck and stagnant and I never move. And then Uranus comes along and says, too bad, you're coming with me. All right, so we're sort of just beginning to understand that, just beginning to go with that. And then Uranus goes retrograde, which is where we find ourselves now and the rest of the year, going back to late Aries, to 28 Aries. So the very edge of Aries. You thought that you were taking the bandages off, or you thought that you didn't need so much aloe vera and lavender anymore, or honey for your burns. You thought that you were done. But the fire is back. This could be very good. Those of you suffering from depression, for example. The fire can be very, very good because you need fire. Those suffering from lethargy, those suffering from hopelessness, those suffering from sadness. The fire being back can wake you up. You don't experience a fire and not wake up. You don't experience the burning and not wake up. I remember months ago, there was a major, major house fire on my street. Woke us all up in the middle of the night because there were sirens, and that's not so unusual, but they were different kind of sirens. I'd never heard this kind before. It wasn't an ambulance or a police car. It was fire trucks. And the frame of the house remained, but everything, I mean, he lost everything. I mean, he couldn't go back there. And I think he has plans to rebuild, but this is what fire can do. It can take everything from you. But fire can also be, metaphorically, life, spark, flame, blood, heat, life, spark, flame. You're alive again. You're alive again. You're alive again. It can wake you up. It can totally wake you up. So this could be a very, very good transit. Now, the hot spot for you, of course, is going to be your chart. Yes, collectively, there's a wake up. There's a wake up just by virtue of a retrograde, that things change. We have to orient and think differently about our lives. And the fact that it does go back not just to a fire sign, but it goes back to Aries, the first sign, the sign of spring, the sign of the warrior. Aries, they fight. Your fighting spirit is back. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's gone. When Uranus goes back to Taurus, which it will in the new year, but this is a special time. This is a special time to revisit your fire. Late Aries. So that's what you need to find in your chart. You need to find actually late degrees of any cardinal sign in your chart, which means if you have any planets or points in Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn at the late degrees. I'm trying to think if 26 is too far out, because I have planets at 26. Yeah, 26, 27, 28, 29. What do you have at those degrees, planets or points, in Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn? Because that's the fire that wants your intention. And you might need to burn something down, or you might need to purify something, or you might just need to cook dinner, or you might need to get yourself warm, or you might, for many of you, I think it's going to be a push out the door. Whatever particular door it is for you, I don't know. It's going to be a different door for everyone, but there's a kind of push that you need at this time, these months, and early next year, because you can't fully enter Uranus and Taurus until you deal with this adequately, and this is your last chance. Right, Goldie? Goldie's sitting right behind me. You can't see him because there's no video here, but trust me, my little munchkin is right there. My little munchkin. Okay, you guys. This is about 12 minutes. I've been talking for longer than I planned. I think I will also keep this unedited. And if you want to talk to me personally about your own chart, your own fire, information in the description box, my readings page, my email, Patreon, social media, my book, it'll all be there. You should definitely buy the book, The Little Book of Saturn, my first book. I think that's all for right now. And I will talk to you again soon. Love you.